Today, we are going to be talking about something that I learned very recently, and I really wanted to bring it to everyone's attention because I feel like I think it's really important to talk about, how accessible are our websites. There are a bunch of wineries that actually got hit with lawsuits for their websites not being ADA compliant. And it's not just ADA compliance, it's actually an acronym called WCAG, WCAG 2.0 compliance that's important. There was a ruling, or basically a statement by the Department of Justice that said, on a federal level, that said that websites are kind of public domain. And so it's important that there is accommodation made for those folks who have disabilities. One of the things that I learned was, for a website to truly be ADA compliant, it does need to address a number of different things. Things like someone with epilepsy or who has had epileptic seizures before. Oftentimes, as if you're looking at a website design and you're thinking about, okay, how am I gonna make this website as eye-catching as possible? You might get video footage from DJs or other vendors that are gonna have all sorts of like sparkling flashes of light and different things like that. And for someone with epilepsy, that can be very dangerous. And so there are tools out there that actually help reduce that and actually turn the entire website into a grayscale so that it reduces the possibility of someone having a seizure who has this condition. There are other things that actually go really well in line with SEO best practices around the descriptions of pictures. Google can actually read those, and so instead of maybe a beautiful photo of a couple walking off into the sunset, there would be text around that. Picture of a couple walking off into the sunset on a grassy field, whatever the picture is, right? And so having that reader version of it there, if someone is blind or visually impaired, then they're actually able to absorb what's happening. And as it turns out, this is also really good for SEO. One of the things that I discovered as we were looking at the 5 websites that we manage, we used a tool called Accessibe. And this program, Accessibe, actually has a widget that will live on your website, and it will continually scan that website for changes and things like that that may not be compliant, and it also kind of helps keep you updated on WCAG compliance, ADA compliance, things like that. So some of the different things that we considered was, is our website accessible? Do we have those things? Turned out two of the websites did have some kind of really cool, they were cool to us, right? Flashing images and things like that. And so when we ran tests, most of our websites achieved over 90% compliance, but still there were things that we needed to work on. So we worked with our website team, and we were able to fix a couple of those things. And it wasn't to the detriment of the website at all, but it enabled us to achieve a 100% compliance rating. It is a little bit pricey, I will say. So it's about $50 per month. And if you think about all of the other things that are, adding up as far as expenses go, you may not want to spend that. I'm really aware of that. And actually, we are only choosing to do that for one of our clients that does have that vineyard component. And I'm going to tell you why here in just a second. But for the other sites, what we did is there is a free tool, I guess, that you can put in your website, and then it will give you a accessibility report, and it will let you know how you rank and how compliant you are. Now, the reason behind this and the reason why it's so important is there have been a number of wineries initially, and this is kind of how it first got brought to my attention, that have been hit with lawsuits. Legal firms will go and they will hire people who will just file paperwork all day long, and they will file lawsuits on websites and on these small businesses. And it happened actually to one of the venues that we manage. It wasn't the venue side of things, it was the vineyard side of things. And so they got hit with this lawsuit, and it was frivolous, and they are legal firms going after, these small businesses to make money. And it's a really kind of scammy, crappy thing for a lot of small businesses. As you know, like, there's not tons of money to have a legal battle. And so a lot of times people just settle out of court, but still this costs thousands of dollars. And it's really unfortunate. It's a really, really sad, when this sort of thing happens. And so when I heard about that, I was like, gosh, like an ounce of prevention versus a pound of cure, right? So, we are going to be using that tool, like I said, on one of the websites, and maybe even the second one as well. What we're really going to be focusing on is making sure that we're running those compliance tests every once in a while. We're probably going to end up doing it monthly, just to make sure that every single month we've checked all of the updates that we've made on the websites, and our website team, they make the updates and then they run it through the tool. And the tool is free, so you can go and check that out. The website, if you want to go check it out, is accessibe.com. There's a section for like a free website audit, so you can just put in the URL and it'll give you a free audit and it'll let you know, how compliant are you, where you need to be focused if you're not compliant. And a lot of times these are just some very, very easy changes. These are some meta tags you need to add. These are some page descriptions, picture descriptions, things like that. And in a way they're kind of best practices, but in a way it'll also, not just in a way, it will absolutely for sure keep you out of legal trouble in case anything like this ever happens. And it's such a small thing that you can do, but I think it also helps people, right? It helps people with disabilities who are looking at your website be able to navigate it a little bit more easily. And it is also good because it keeps you safe from possible legal trouble. And so, when I looked at some of the different stories of the people that were getting sued, I was like, gosh, like even if it's $5,000 or $7,000, that's a lot of money. That's money that we want to be putting towards our guest experience or, fixing something at the venue. That's not something that we want to spend on settling a frivolous lawsuit. So anyway, I hope this topic has been interesting and informative today for you. One more thing I want to say before we leave, for anyone who is still listening, I so appreciate you. We are looking for more guests for the Venue RX for the Venue Owner Series. And so if you own a venue, you're listening to this right now, we want to talk to you. We want to talk to people who are in the space, who are working hard, who are at their venues day in and day out. We want to just understand your process and understand what it took to get into the venue space. And so we want to talk with you if you are a venue owner. So with that, we're going to wrap up for today. I will see you all in the next episode.